everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kayla, and if you haven't heard of us, we are the Beauty Fam and All That Glam. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and hit the little bell so you can be notified of all our future uploads. Okay, so I told you guys that I would do a video on teen abuse, and not just teen abuse, but like abuse in relationships, signs to look for, and how to stop the abuse before it starts. Some warning signs to look for in your children. So let's begin. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you know now this video is well worth watching. This is a very serious topic for me. It is something that I have been affected with, or I don't know per se to say affected with, but something that has happened to me. And I will be showing you guys a clip of where I was on the Tyra Banks show. And no, this isn't to brag or whatever else that people may think. It wasn't nothing exciting. It wasn't like, yay, you know, it's on TV type thing. The only reason I agreed to do it was in hopes to save my relationship at that time, but I really think it made things worse, not better. I don't think that person was ever planning on changing anyways. So I'm going to begin with saying there are 4 different types of abuse that I know of. There's physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect like a physical, educational, or so on. And there's also emotional abuse, verbal or mental. So the ones I'm going to be really touching today are the physical, sexual, and the emotional abuse. So I was 16 years old when I was in an abusive relationship. You know, my mom was really Christian. She wanted me to do the right thing. And I thought I was, you know, I was young, naive, and I believed this boy who told me that I was going to spend my life with him, that he loved me, he wanted to marry me. So I tried for my first child. I was pregnant during this clip that I will be showing you guys on Tyra Banks. They would not let me share that information on TV. I guess, I don't know, whatever the case may be. Maybe they felt like it would affect their show or whatever. It was not staged, guys. It was absolutely true in every single way, every detail. I mean, really not hardly any of the details was shared at all on there. It don't even justify, not even a little bit of what I went through. So I really hope that this reaches out to somebody and this helps you, because I want everybody to know that you're beautiful, you're worth it, and it's okay to get upset, it's okay to feel down on yourself, but never, ever let anybody tell you that you're not worth it. Don't ever, because you are, and I promise you, you may not feel like that you can make it without them, but darling, you can. Okay, so we're going to start with like some signs to look for in your children. And no, by no means is this saying, hey, your child's going to grow up to be an abuser or the victim. It's just stating facts. It's things to look for in your children. I know, because I go through it with my own children. They've been through things. So, you know, my own son, he does have to go to counseling and different things like that. So it's not me saying that anybody's child is going to grow up being awful or whatever. It's just that sometimes kids go through things, even when we do our best as parents to guide them and tell them that they're worth it. I know that it doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. I know a lot of people lean more towards telling the girls that they're beautiful and that they're great and worth it. But what we really need to be doing is telling the boys out there too that they're just as beautiful, that they're handsome, that they're worth it, they're smart. Because I don't feel like they get enough validation. And I'm not saying that ain't the case for you or your child, but just guys in general. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Maybe not so much as children, but guys in general. And sometimes guys need to hear that just like us women do. Okay, so some of the things to look for in your children is signs of jealousy, controlling behavior, breaking objects, maybe. So some signs to look for with your kids, I'm sorry, I got cut off there, is like I had already mentioned, in breaking objects, any force at all during an argument, or they're withdrawn, they're distant, angry, over emotional, aggressive, or, you know. So those are some of the things to look for in your children. Just make sure that you're paying attention to those things. Make sure that you're talking with your kids. And there is things out there to help them now, so that when they do get older, they don't feel like they're less than what they really are, or like they don't deserve what they truly deserve, if that makes sense. Because my child, he's been through a lot, my oldest son, and you know, it's a work in progress, but he is such a great boy. He's so bright, he's so handsome, and so smart, so funny. I think any child would be lucky to even know him, but he's so withdrawn, and he's so distant from any kids in school. And it really bothers me as a mother. You know, I'm doing the best I can. I validate him every single day. I talk with his teachers. We go to counseling. We do everything that we can. So, you know, it's very important to pay attention to these kind of details while they're young. So, all right, as far as like signs to look for in a relationship, whether it be female or male, y'all hear my country accent coming out there, but whether it's female or male, look for these signs and get away from the relationship. Because I promise you, no matter how many times they look you in your eyes and tell you, I love you, I swear to you, I will never hurt you again, 99% of the time, it will happen again. And maybe next time you won't be so lucky to be able to get out of the relationship. And that's very sad and that's unfortunate, but it is the truth. I was very lucky to get out of the relationship when I did. But when I did get out of the relationship, I was broken. I was beaten down. I was scared. I felt like I didn't deserve anything or anybody, and it just wasn't true. It really was not true. So, and some of the signs to look for when getting into a relationship or after being in a relationship for a while is any signs of jealousy, controlling behavior, quick involvement, unrealistic expectations. You know, if they isolate you, they blame you or others for their problems, they blame you or others for their feelings, their hypersensitivity. Oh, sorry. My baby's moving you all around. Their cruelty to others, or they show cruelty to any animals. That's usually a very big indicator that there's something wrong. Using force during sexual encounters, verbal abuse, and like past battering. Like if they have any past charges, like where they, you know, battering charges, and they told you, hey, it wasn't like that, you know, it was a lie, or it might be worth taking a second look into that. But, you know, it's just a good thing to try to stop these things before it begins, because I know personally for me, my mother did validate me a lot. She told me I was beautiful, but it still wasn't enough. She did her best to raise me, and I still somehow grew up. So sometimes, even though us parents do validate our children and tell them how important they are, how, you know, worth it they are, sometimes it just can't be helped. The kids grow up to feel like that regardless. So don't ever feel like you failed your child. At least if we can start validating them now, at least we know that we did what we could. So God forbid if they ever did get in a situation, at least they would know the signs. You could teach them these, and at least, you know, if they're going to feel that way about themselves regardless, at least you know as a parent you did what you were supposed to do, and you don't look back thinking, I wish I could have did something different. I wish I could have validated my child more, told him how much I loved him. And so those things are very, very important. And well, no, honey, mommy can't get you right yet. Hang on. My little girl, she's so rotten. She just wants to be held all the time. She's wanting the camera, so she keeps going for this camera, y'all. But come here, Stinker. Say hi. It's you. What you got? You got some hair? Sorry, guys. But anyways, you know, I was 16, and, you know, it was very mentally and emotionally exhausting. That happened first before the physical abuse started. He made me feel as if he was the only person that would ever love me. That I wasn't worth anything else, and because I had low self-esteem, I stayed. And one of my old friends, her other friend, put me online to go onto the show with Tyra Banks. It was on teen abuse over the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing. And, you know, at first I was like, okay, whatever, this isn't real. But, you know, I talked to him. It was all planned out. Me, my best friend at the time, the guy I was with at the time, his best friend, and my mom and my aunt, we all went to New York City, Manhattan, and we were all there on the show. My aunt was in the audience. My mom did speak out at one point in the show saying how she felt about it, that I needed to get away from him. Like I said, I was pregnant with my daughter. I did check with the doctor. They did clear me to go on the airplane. I was at that point in my pregnancy where it was safe for me to fly. So we went in hopes, because we were told that if we went on the show that they would help us get some kind of counseling. I did marry him at 16 years old. And as soon as I married him, you know, all the signs were there, every bit of them. And as soon as I married him, that's when the physical abuse started. I mean, I can't tell you guys, I'm not going to go into detail about everything, but it was terrible. And I don't want no girl that's, you know, just now getting in that, you know, the age where they're like 16, 17, where they think they're in love, or, you know, even older. Sometimes it happens when you're older. Like, age does not discriminate, but I don't want anybody to ever feel the way that I did, you know, because it's traumatized me all the way up to now. And just a little bit of information about, though, like, there was incidents where I was told to go in to pay for gasoline, and I was pregnant, and I would come outside and he would be gone, and it would be a hot summer day, and I'd have to have the manager or a police officer take me to my mother's or my grandmother's home. So, I mean, there was a lot of physical abuse, a lot of emotional abuse, sexual abuse. But my daughter, they did autopsy on her, and they didn't know why she passed. They said she had fetal hydrops, which is something rare, nothing I could have caused. But in the back of my mind, I can't help but to wonder if staying in that abusive relationship had anything to do at all with her passing. But when she was born, due to me being beat a lot, there was parts of her that wasn't normal. And I had to hold my baby, who was born sleeping in my arms at 16 years old. And the night I buried my baby, I was also beaten severely. If it wasn't for my mother's intuition, you know, I tried to call her, all the phones was taken from me. This was the last time I stayed. I got pregnant with my son, my rainbow baby, who I will always be grateful for. I love him, and it's not his fault who his, you know, donor is, but he's my baby. And, well, anyways, my mom showed up and told him that if you don't let my daughter out this house now, I'm calling the cops. So he had no choice but to let me out. And when he did, I was beaten black and blue. He got taken to court. He had a lawyer. And because of that, I had no lawyer. He got away with it. He got away with it. But, you know, it's okay. Today, I'm in a very healthy relationship. I love my husband dearly. I love my children. I'm very happy where I'm at. But because of him, there is still issues to where I do have self-doubt, to where my worst critic, I'm always criticizing myself, putting myself down, like intentionally doing it. It just happens. Very low self-esteem. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here on my iPad. That's the only way I know to show you guys, because this was not posted by me. This was posted by somebody 10 years ago when I was on this show. But I'm going to pull this up here and get you guys to where you could see this.
It is a topic that I'm very passionate about, and it is teen abuse and relationships. Earlier we were talking with Kayla and John about the abusive relationship that they are in. And I want to go to you, John. Do you ever blame Kayla for you being abusive to her?
See, in the essence of that, I don't really blame her, but I do sometimes accredit her. I feel that if sometimes she wouldn't get on.
One second, y'all. I had to get my hubby to get my baby here.
If she does, that we wouldn't get into like the conflicts we do. But I do also blame myself. I know a lot of it is my fault. I mean...
So tell me the part that's her fault. You say when she gets under your skin. Tell me what that means.
basically when we start arguing and she just nags it on, like, I will try to let it go, but then sometimes she tries to let it go and I nag it on also. I mean, I'm definitely not going to sit here and blame her because there's no excuse for me touching her. I mean, me laying my hands
So what's the difference between blaming and accrediting in your head?
Good point.
Okay. You're trying to be a lawyer in a court and trying to change words around. One thing you said, you told my producers that you're different than Chris Brown. Explain to me what that meant.
I believe I'm different from him because I can't see like any troubles he would have. Why would he do the stuff he did? You know, he has everything going for him, and I feel like I'm nothing. I'm a nobody.
What do you mean you're nothing?
I feel like she can find better than me. I feel like she wants to find better than me, and I don't want to lose her. She's the best thing I've ever had. You know, she's my angel. She's the reason for me to get up and, you know, take that breath every morning. I love her with all of my heart, and I want to marry that girl.
So you want to marry her, and you love her, you're scared you're going to lose her, and so you beat her and hit her so that she won't leave.
No.
Yes. And let me tell you why it's yes. The ex that I was with, he told me, and he wasn't really referring to me, he was referring to exes, but he told me that when he gets a new girl, because he likes, you know, successful girls, doesn't have to be famous, and he was not famous, by the way, everybody. He was not famous, and everybody's like, ooh, wish famous. He's not famous. I've dated a lot of guys that aren't famous. He told me that he likes to break a girl down to get her to stay. And can you believe he actually told me this, and I still stayed? So that is what you were doing. You were actually treating her bad so that she will stay, because she is a vulnerable person with low self-esteem, and you know that that feeds her, and that will feed her to stay with you. And you said that Chris Brown is perfect, and he's this, and he has everything. Did you see the clip when he said that he wet his bed? That's not perfect. That's somebody that's a victim that has gone through a lot. You can't look at him as being different than you, or it's not okay for him to hit a girl, but it's okay for you because he has everything and you don't have the money that he has or the success that he has. There's no excuse for that. Okay? Now, your friends are here. Okay, let's see. You're Megan, right? And you're Kayla's best friend.
Yes, I am.
I know that you say that, yes, he is physically abusive, but it's not just
It's
physical.
also emotional.
Emotional. What types of things does he do that's emotional?
Calls her names like constantly, like bitch, slut, whore, cheater, everything.
And what does it make you feel like as her friend, watching your friend
It
go through that?
upsets me a lot to make her go through this, because she's like my best friend all over.
What do you want to tell her right now?
You shouldn't have to go through this because you deserve better than being fought with and arguing all the time and called names like that.
And Bobby, you are John's best friend. I like that we have both best friends. So you have a little guilt with this whole situation, with their relationship. Why are you guilty?
Because I introduced them too.
Because you introduced them.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like when they fight that it was my fault for getting them together and they wouldn't be in this situation if I hadn't introduced them.
You know what? The sad thing is, they would be in this situation just with somebody else. Right? It's not your fault. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
That he has his insecurities and issues. So if it wasn't Kayla, it'd be somebody else. And Kayla has her insecurities and issues. And if it wasn't John, it'd be somebody else. All right? It's not your fault. You were trying to do the hookup and be Cupid. You know? Which is not a bad thing. I know there's one thing. You haven't had the courage to say something to your friend.
Right.
What do you want to tell him today?
I think that Kayla needs to be treated better and you need to step up and treat her like a princess, like she deserves. Like. And that she's your future, and if you stick with her, I think you guys could go a long way.
We'll be right back. The Tyra Show website got a makeover. There's new features for beauty and fashions and We're discussing teens and abusive relationships. John, you were very emotional during the commercial. Tell me what's going through your head right now.
I just regret everything that's, went on between us. I regret all the fights and everything. And I don't know what I could do to change it, but to change myself. But I know that if I do change myself, I'm going to need her help, and I'm going to need her to bear with me. And, you know, everything my friend said, her friend said, it's the truth. And it just made me look back like, wow, you know, like the girl I love more than anything, once again, why am I treating her the way I am?
Yeah,
I just never stopped and
that you need help and need to help yourself. That's very big of you to say that, because that's true. That is true. And we're going to talk about help and how to get you that help at the end of the show, okay? I think you're becoming a man before my very eyes. You are. Isn't he, you guys? Now, he wants change, and that's what we're about to see right now. Because earlier in the season, we met a teen girl named Leanne, and she was being abused by her boyfriend, Edwin. And Edwin was angry. We'll be right back.
Okay, guys, so that was the end of the clip that somebody did post 10 years ago. And looking back at that clip, there is a lot of emotions that come up. I don't know, like, not necessarily, like, sad or anything. By the way, he didn't take the help that they offered. He refused to take the counseling. More or less to him, it was just something to go on TV and brag about, that it was all fake, it was staged, and none of it was, by far. He got paid. He was the only one that got paid that said he had to work, and he missed work. He got paid pretty decent for 2 days when he didn't even have a job anymore. It only got worse. It only got worse. The only thing that I regret is not realizing that I was worth so much more and leaving that relationship. But the two things that I will always be grateful for out of it was my son and my daughter. My daughter's name is Abby, and she gained her wings June 6th of 2009. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know it's kind of all over the place. I did my best. It's kind of just a really touchy subject for me. I hope this really helps anybody. Please, please, please know your self-worth. Whether you're a guy or a female, you deserve better than to ever be treated like that from anybody. And I promise you, there will be someone out there that will love you and treat you right, because I have found that today. You know, thank goodness my husband is so great, because, you know, that's what I've done ever since that relationship. I have pushed people away because I got so scared. I figured I better go ahead and self-sabotage the relationship before they end up hurting me. And, you know, there was some other bad ones, but, you know, there was some that, well, they were all pretty bad, but the one I'm in now, I'm grateful my husband knew, he understood, he was patient, he was kind. He knew I went through a lot with all my past relationships, especially that first one that gave me my PTSD that I have today. So he stuck beside me, and, you know, eventually it got better. He worked with me. I realized that he wasn't going to hurt me. He's never laid a hand on me. You know, everybody has their disagreements, but he's never made me feel less than. And I love him so much. So if you're watching this right now and you're going through something like this, please listen to me. Get out now. It will never change. I know you may want it to. I know you may have faith in that person. You may think, you know, I can see that goodness in their heart. Trust me, honey, it will not change. And, you know, I do have a past. That's a story for another time, but I did end up running into my ex-husband. I don't even consider him my husband, y'all. I was like 16. I wasn't old enough to really know what I wanted at the time. I was brainwashed and manipulated by a very insecure boy at the time. So, anyways, like I was saying, sorry, lost my train of thought there. Hang on, it'll come back to me. But anyways, like I was saying, if you're in that kind of relationship, get out, because you deserve so much more. And trust me, there is plenty of people out there. You do not need to settle for less than what you deserve. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Sorry. Excuse me. It ain't the corona. I got a itchy throat there. I've had a sinus infection for the past week. But anyways, what was I getting at? Yeah. So when I ran back into him, it was like probably 4-5 years maybe after the fact that I finally got out of the relationship. He was not in his right state of mind. And even then, after all those years, he tried to force me to go home with him. Told me I was still his wife. And it was then and only then that I had the courage and the power to look at him and tell him that I was not his wife. I never was. That I deserved better. That I wasn't going a dang place with him. That he had me all the way messed up. And that was when I really realized, like, wow, you know, I wish I would have had the strength to do it a long time ago, but I'm grateful and blessed today that I don't have to go through something like that. I'm still working on me. I'm still learning to love myself, and I do love myself today. Yeah, there is a little bit of self-doubt still left there. There is a little bit of insecurities, but you know, I'm working on that. You know, one thing that you can do for that, I know it sounds ridiculous, but someone told it to me and it was very helpful. Look in your mirror every single day or every night before you go to bed and give yourself one positive affirmation in the mirror. Just one. One positive affirmation. If I'm even saying that word right, I don't know. I can't think right now. My brain's just... But that really helps me. You know, I'll look in the mirror and say, you are beautiful. You're a great mom. Those things, I know it may sound stupid, and some of y'all may make fun of it. Go ahead. It ain't gonna hurt me none, or bother my feelings none. Honey, go right on ahead if it makes you feel better. If it makes you feel better picking on someone else because you're insecure. But I'm telling you all, it does help. It makes you feel better. And I'm here if you need someone to talk to. All you gotta do is shoot me a message, and, you know, we can get each other's email to where we can DM each other. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I didn't intend for it to be all over the place, intend for it to be so long. I do apologize for that, but I felt like this was something that needed to be addressed, and it was something that was very near and dear to my heart. So hope you guys are staying safe. I love y'all. Until next time, bye.
Yep.